Hi, good morning, good evening. Welcome to this video from Techcanvass. In this video, I am going to tell you how can you become a business analyst even if you don't have an IT background. My name is Abhishek Shrivastava. I'm an author, blogger, and an experienced IT professional. Let's try and understand how can you become a business analyst without any IT background. So on the agenda for this particular video is first let's try and understand what do you need to become a business. Conduct a skills gap analysis so that you can understand what gaps do you have in your skills to be able to become a business analyst. And then a step-by-step approach to acquire those skills and become a business analyst. First of all, since it will be top of your mind, so let's get this away first up. Is non-IT background a disadvantage for becoming a business analyst? Now, what does it mean to be having an IT background? Are we only talking about programming or we're talking about something else as well? As a person with IT background, you should be aware of the IT industry. What's happening, what kind of softwares we develop, how do we develop the softwares, the processes of developing software, whether you are developing a product or a service, how do we do that development? And third part of coming from IT background involves having the knowledge of the programming languages like C++, Java, .NET, and so on and so forth. Now the question is, you may not be aware of any of the three things we discussed. We'll come back to this particular topic again in this particular video. Let's park it for some time and move forward. Let's try and understand who is a business analyst. So in the IT industry, the business analyst role primarily involves working as an intermediary between the customer and the technology team. The business analyst talks to the customer to understand what exactly do they need. Here the stress is on what. So the customer conveys their needs to you as a business analyst. Your responsibility is to convert those requirements into a set of requirements which the technology team can understand. And what does the technology team do with this? The technology team writes programs to develop the software application which will be able to address the requirements of the customer. Once the software is ready, then it comes back to you. You need to test it, validate it before you give it back to the customer for their testing. Once customer is happy, the system becomes operational. That's how a business analyst performs the day-to-day responsibility in the IT industry. Now, so considering the role of a business analyst, what kind of skills do you need which will help you performing your day-to-day activities, and also in the long run, how can it help you to achieve better professional growth? So instead of discussing it into individual topics, we have created a craft framework which essentially talks about 4 key skills or key categories of skills suitable for a business analyst. The first and the foremost is the communication skills. Because you are working as an intermediary between the customer and the technology team, you need to be really good in communication skills. But are we talking about English or spoken language, or we are talking about the ability to communicate thoughts in the simplest possible manner? The next skill or next category of a skill is related to requirements. You are talking to the customer to get the requirements of them, but you need to convert them into a set of requirements which the technology team will understand. Both of these sets of people speak different languages or understand different languages. So the development of requirements come into picture here. You need to develop, that means convert the business requirements into requirements which the programmers will understand. Now, as you can understand, if you're talking to the customer to understand their requirements, it's good to have the understanding of the business as well. That's where the third category comes into picture. It's about functional knowledge. Can you understand a particular business for which you are gathering the requirements? Do you need to be an expert, or you need to have just the ability to understand what does the customer talking about, or what is the customer talking about? That ability is very, very crucial. However, in the initial stage, as you are becoming a business analyst, this is not a mandatory skill. But this is one of the ways in which you can grow your career as a business analyst. The last bit is the functional testing. You need to be able to check or validate a system to make sure that it is working as per the expectations of the customer. You may not be doing the screen by screen testing, but you need to test the processes, the end-to-end result coming out of the system. So these are the 4 key skills which are required to succeed as a business analyst, or to be able to perform your responsibilities as a business. Now let's go back and again discuss, is your non-IT background a disadvantage? How big is this disadvantage? Can you still become a business analyst without having an IT background? Now, the first thing was awareness of the industry. That is required skill. Second part was understanding of the software development processes. Again, this is something which is required to be able to understand how things will happen in a software project. But the most critical part, programming knowledge. Do you need to know any of the programming languages? Whatever skills we have discussed, is very obvious that this is one skill which you don't need. And the good thing about other skills is that it can be easily picked up. It can be easily learned. Awareness of the industry by reading certain articles, understanding what is happening in the industry, you can easily pick this up. Second part of it is understanding the software development process. In our course, we have specifically designed a module for non-IT professionals, which helps them to understand the software development from a non-technical language perspective. And then you build on top of it to help understand the technical terms, the key aspects of software development from an IT perspective. So both these gaps, which essentially looks to be big, can be easily filled in. And as I mentioned, programming knowledge is not required. So what I'm saying is, even without an IT background, you can easily become a business analyst. We have several cases who have completed business analyst course from Techcanvass, and they have become business analysts. Many of them are working in industry, and they are doing well. People coming from banking operations, people coming from supply chain management, people coming from travel industry, people coming from completely divergent sectors. They all come, they work hard, and then they have achieved their goals. So why can't you? You can also become a business analyst. Now, to be a business analyst, you need to follow certain structured process steps so that you can do it in a more efficient way. There could be a longer path where you try and pick up things in a random manner, or you can go in a step-by-step manner so that your journey is easily possible in 6 to 8 weeks, or the worst case scenario, 10 weeks. Let's look at how can you go about it. First of all, you need to consider the fact that it takes a bit of time to become a business analyst or to change any career. You are working in an X profile, now you have to move into a business analyst profile. So you need to have some time. You need to plan it well so that you can devote 5 to 6 hours every week for learning certain things, especially in the initial period of your journey. Next, now you need to understand what are your gaps. with respect to the skills which we discussed in this particular video. To fill those gaps, you need to pick up a course which is of your preference. You choose an institute, you choose a course, and then you start working as per the plan described by the institute. So it can take 6 weeks, like our course is 6 weeks course. Some may take 5 weeks, some may take 7 weeks. So whatever is suitable for you, you pick up and start working on it. It's important to have a certification, especially considering that you are coming from a non-IT background. For employers to select your resume for that particular profile, a certification is going to be helpful. It's not going to guarantee you a job, but it is definitely going to help your resume get shortlisted by the employer, because a certification, especially from an organization like IIBA Canada, provides credibility to your skills. Next, very important step, get your resume dressed up, because when employer looks at it, they need to get a feeling that even if you don't have experience as a business analyst, you understand the role of a business analyst, you have the skills required to become a business analyst. That way you will get the first call or calls for interviews. Of course, your ECBA certification will always help. Next, start preparing for the interview. Start answering questions, listening to the answers to certain key questions which are typically asked in the interviews. You also should practice about certain behavioral questions, because in typical business analyst interview questions, they ask you behavioral questions as well. They put you into a particular situation and will ask you to say how will you handle that situation. Because as a business analyst, you are working along with the customer, and every day you're going to face situations which you may not have faced earlier. So every interviewer and every employer wants to know that if you face certain situations, can you handle it? You may not be always 100% correct in handling a situation, but do you have the thought process? Do you have the structured thinking to come up with a plan to handle it? Finally, upload your resume to Naukri and similar websites, which will help you in getting shortlisted. It's always a good strategy to face interviews of the companies which you may not want to join first up. It's like mock interviews. However, just to tell you that Techcanvass has also come up with a module where we prepare you for the job interviews through one-to-one interviews. But if you don't take that particular module from Techcanvass, you can still use certain companies as mock interviews where you don't want to join. And once you start feeling confident, then you apply for the companies where you actually want to go. I hope these steps will help you in fulfilling your dreams. Wish you all the best. These are a couple of resources which are available on Amazon, written by me and available on Amazon for last couple of years. Thanks for watching this video. You can always contact us at info@techcanvass.com or at the given number, or you can visit our website at https://techcanvass.com. Thanks for being part of this video. We'll catch up in the next video.